Have you ever wondered how they were able to make the magic carpet in Aladdin on Broadway fly above the stage as if by magic? This amazing feat is due to the various uses of technology and their development in the world of technical theater. So technical theater is one of the largest components of a show, and the various technologies used during the show has changed greatly over time and adapted in many different ways to meet the needs of different shows. So hi, my name is Bobby Mullen, and for my senior project, I got a hands-on experience into the world of technical theater. So in the beginning of Greek and Roman theater, little to no scenery or lighting was used on a stage. Plays were performed in elaborate stone outdoor theaters called theatrons. So having scenery on stage did not become a common practice until the 1600s, but most plays used different scenic devices called mansions. These were built into the stone structures and were meant to represent different places such as heaven, hell, the Garden of Eden, and different places like that. So on stages today, there can be anything from whole buildings, flashy backdrops, water, sand, and so many other things that were never possible back then. So back when the theaters were built, they were built on countrysides to allow the natural lighting from the sun to go onto the stage and light up the actors. And artificial lighting was not actually used until the mid-1600s when theaters started to move indoors and they needed artificial lighting to light the stages. Since this time, the lighting in shows and their scenery that those lights light has become an actual very cool sight to see. So during shows today with the scenic design, buildings can turn 360 degrees around a stage, move across the stage by themselves on tracks, and people can fly, pop out of the ground, and so many different other things that were never possible before. Without the use and evolution of various technologies, none of this would be possible, and Broadway and theater all around the world would not be as popular as it is today. So over the summer, I volunteered at a one-week theater camp for kids aged 8 to 14. This camp gives kids the experience of putting on a show without the months of preparation and without auditions and the fear of getting cut from the show. So I've performed with the Community Players of Concord since I was 8 years old. And throughout those 8 years, I loved acting and being on the stage, but I always wanted to know what it was like to be backstage and on the technical side of theater. So when I found out this camp that my sister did when she was in high school, I thought it would be a cool idea to use that camp to get a little side of technical theater in. And so this year at camp, we put on a production of Aladdin Jr. And at this camp, I was a member of the tech crew. And in the span of 5 days, me and a few other kids had to design a set, build a set, paint a set, gather a bunch of props, and design over 40 costumes for the show. It was a very difficult task that we couldn't have done without the help of technology and our director and other people. So shown above are the few of the sets we designed for the show. They're very small, but we had to make things that were easily movable on and off the stage in a very short amount of times. We had a scene change that was only 30 seconds long that we had to clear the stage completely for, and so we needed to make sure the sets were movable and could just store backstage really easily without taking up a lot of room. So doing all of the jobs I previously listed took over 50 hours of work that 1 week. But we would get there around 8 a.m. and we would watch the campers rehearse all day until 3. And while the campers are rehearsing, we don't have the ability to build the set and paint the set because they're using it. So we normally had to stay a little bit later to get everything we needed to done. On the Thursday and Friday of that week, the show is on a Friday. On Thursday, we had to take everything apart at the studio we were working at and bring it over to the auditorium and reset it up there. That day was really long. It was about 8 a.m. to 10 o'clock at night. And then the next day, we started at 8 a.m., which is the day of the show. We ran the show multiple times. And then I got home around 1 a.m. that night after taking apart the whole set and bringing it back to the place and then going out after. So the most stressful part of this camp is the time restraint. We only have a week to put everything together, and we have a very short amount of time to do it. And in this time restraint, it has really taught me the importance of perseverance and communication. When we run into many obstacles throughout the week, which we do all the time, we don't have time to complain or think about it. We have to really just take action and solve the problem quickly so that we can move on to the next task in order to get the show ready in that short amount of time. Working at this camp gave me so much insight into the various jobs of a technical theater and the various technologies used for each of those jobs. So nothing happening on stage or backstage would be possible without the use and development of various technologies throughout the world. If we didn't have technology in theater, it would not be a popular thing. Millions of people go to theater a year to go watch the shows on Broadway in New York. And if if technology was not incorporated into theater and it didn't develop over time, that would not be happening. So I'm going to leave you with a quote that amazingly describes the importance of technical theater and the crew that they use. Without a tech crew, actors would be naked on a dark and barren stage. Are there any questions? Thank you.